Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more settlement survival in our little town of Rellyton. This video is still sponsored by the developer, of course a big thank you for that, and if you guys would like to learn more about the game, you can find a link in the description down below. So we have grown a lot since our founding of Rellyton, especially in the last video. All of this down over here is new. We've built up several new production chains, including some that we are now building out, such as bricks, sand, glass bottles, bedding, rope, paper. Everything's looking really good across the board over here. We have a higher population than ever, we're making tons of science, and we've done all of this while also stabilizing our economy. We are producing an excess of resources. This is a very good position for us to be in because it means we can start skyrocketing our population and our productivity. I love it. Now, there are a couple of things I'd like to focus on in this particular video. One, I'd like to play around a little bit more with some trade. We've already got a lot of peas being dropped off over here since I have an excess of food. We're going to sell this stuff off to the next ship that comes by, see what kind of wonderful goods we can get. Maybe silver coins, maybe not. At some point, though, I do want to start making some specialized trade goods, such as pottery, carvings, lots of things like that, get some silver coins up and running, and order special goods, livestock and seeds and other such things we normally would not be able to obtain, such as cows. I wouldn't mind getting some beef and some animal fat tossed into the economy so I can use that for lots of other stuff. So that's one priority. Another is to boost up our happiness and our health, because we've been treading water with these for a while, enough to avoid a lot of the negative malices by being above the 50% threshold. In fact, we're kind of hovering in between 50 and 100. What I want to do is break into 150% happiness and health to start getting some bonuses. So you can see down here at the bottom, if we're above 150% happiness, we get some efficiency boosts, some movement boosts, and even more efficiency above 250. Very, very powerful. We also want to get our health up because we could get no accidental deaths at work, stamina consumption reduction so people work longer, and even immunity from plagues, fractures, sprains, etc. Just letting our population stay alive and productive for a bit longer. We've teased building the bathhouse for a while, now we're actually going to do it. Here's our new soap workshop, by the way. We can start producing either medical or salt soap. Now, both of these recipes require either beeswax, fat, and blubber, and then some secondary ingredient. In my case, medicinal powder from the herbs that I'm making and using as medicine. But if we did actually have any salt, we would be able to start making some salt soap instead. I'm going to make this exclusively out of beeswax for the moment, because animal fat can get turned into lantern fuel, and I'd rather reserve this for now, at least until I have a huge excess. So let's go with that. I'll probably need to have somebody extra working at the herbalist hut, since we're simply not going to be making enough medicinal powder. So we'll get that going. And then, is there anything else I feel like I need to build right now? Not this exact second. Let's kind of reevaluate in a little bit. I do want to ramp up the production limits for a few of my goods, because we actually can store quite a few of these, and it never hurts to have a nice, healthy excess. Something we need to keep an eye on is our housing capacity, because right over here we have in-room housing, which currently has 18 out of 24 occupants. That might make you think that you need to have enough housing just for 18 more people and everything's going to be fine, and it definitely does some of it, but it's not quite the entire story. If we take a look at several different houses over here, we can see that there are at least, yeah, here we go, some people who are living in a house where they could move out and start their own family, but there's no new fresh houses to move into. So Luna, for example, is still living up over here with Louie and Nellie, who look suspiciously similar to each other. So if we were to build out more houses, Luna would happily move out. What I can see down here in the bottom left is that 25 citizens want new houses. We don't have to meet all of those needs, but that tells me that 25 people could move into new homes and start families. So let's continue building out the neighborhoods at least a little bit so we don't fall behind in our population growth. Let's go ahead and settle down a pottery workshop. Maybe one over here should be fine, and I wouldn't mind also getting a lighting factory at some point if I can find a good spot for it. We'll come back to that one, that's fine, but I would like to take some clay and start producing a tradable good. Here we go, pottery. So we could make pottery out of 6 clay and 5 refined fuel, which I don't love using up, but it's okay. Or we can make porcelain, which costs just barely less than double the cost, right? Clay is the only advantage. This would get me 16 silver in terms of value as opposed to 8. So technically the porcelain is a little bit more cost effective if you can afford to burn through your stockpiles of refined fuel, which I don't think that I can at the moment. Or silver cutlery. Silver cutlery would be fantastic if we can unlock silver, and I plan on doing that at some point. Hold the phone, what is this? There's a crate floating in the water, ladies and gentlemen. I shall click on it. A quaint old box made of seemingly quality material has drifted here. Huh. If we had fishing nets, we could have done something with it. Dang it. I don't have any fishing nets. We have to pretend that nothing happened. Well, that's unfortunate. Keep your eyes peeled. Once in a while, you might see little things like that happen, and it's kind of fun to click on them. Like this giant tree that appeared over here. Hello! A land that is unusually fertile. We could transplant the tree elsewhere, or we could cut it down. Let's try the transporting it, and it seemed that we are going to be able to grow things more here. I think there's actually a fertile soil modifier right here. We just can't see it. Interesting. Trick or treat? Wait a minute, what's going on? My children's are running around. Oh, but we have no candies. That makes them sad. Yeah, that actually is something the developers like to do for settlement survival. Once in a while for holidays, they'll sprinkle in special flavor events kind of like this. I'll bet you if we actually produce candy in this town, the kids would be very, very happy. Alas, we do not have any understanding of sugar beets or candy sugar or anything along those lines, so sorry kiddos, maybe in like 20 years. We have 2 more tech points to spend. There's a lot of things I wouldn't mind getting, such as some housing upgrades and so on, maybe upgrade drinks or our healthcare. All of that would be good if I can start learning how to make steel. But I think what I'm going to go for is down here under logistics. We're going to learn how to make baskets, because right now I'm producing more rope than I know what to do with, so we could swap to using our reeds to make baskets and increase people's carrying capacity. Which doesn't sound fantastic in and of itself, but it is actually pretty helpful. What's really nice is the next point after that, the packet expansion. People's capacity just increases by 80 straight up. No production necessary. Very, very strong. Definitely want that. The reason that you want things like baskets, by the way, is if you look under health, there it is, logistics equipment does count as one of the categories. I guess because people aren't breaking their backs. So it's definitely worth building these if you can. Hey, here comes the trading ship. Excellent. What's up, buddy? What do you have to trade? Traps, fishing nets, man, I wish this was here a little bit earlier, some baskets, and some luxury coats. Okay. Well, you don't have any silver here, but what I can do is sell off, let's say, 4,000 peas. That's worth 1,600 silver in total. I could buy... I don't think I need traps. Luxury coats is a bit on the expensive side and doesn't get me an absolute ton of value. It's not bad, though. But I could just buy out a bunch of baskets and fishing nets instead. Let's suppose I bought 100 of those and, like, I don't know, 150 of these. Not quite that. Your goal is to get their price to match up with yours so you can get the most fair deal as possible. This is close enough. So now we can just hit transaction, and what's going to happen is we're going to offload the 4,000 peas and get these baskets, and now it's going to get distributed throughout the town. That's nice. Oh yeah, see, case in point. Now our health has jumped up to 102% because we got an extra 11 from the logistics equipment. There you go, see? All right, so we no longer have the increased fracture and sprain probability. Well, never mind, it dropped back down. But if we can keep this up consistently, we won't have as many fractures and sprains. That would be good. It relieves the pressure on our clinics and keeps people working. I think at this point, there's no reason why we couldn't just place down our bathhouse. If we're going to do that, I'm actually going to get rid of this hunter's hut because it's kind of taking up some very valuable real estate in the middle of the town. One bathhouse here should have enough radius to reach almost all of my houses, which makes it a very attractive option for me. So let's go to our services. There's the bathhouse. It's going to take me 15 bedding, which I should definitely have by now, right? Yeah, 22. So there we go. Plus some planks and some cut stone. This actually fits out pretty nicely for us. Sure. Let's try placing it basically right up over here, I think. Yeah, that should be fine. And what was the radius on this thing? Oh, yeah, exactly. Almost every house gets captured by this. Perfect. Almost done with the bathhouse. Our health should increase by a lot. Let's see, residents in range, 50% extra health. Heck yes. Okay, that's pretty darn good. And we can boost that up even further as long as we're using the medical soap and the salt soap. Love it. So now we should be able to stay pretty consistently above 100% here. Sanitation, 47%. That's great. Excellent. All right, that's awesome. Oh, 144%. Even better. All right, so if we can just build this out a little bit more, we're actually going to start having 0 accidental deaths at work. That would be great. Oh, there goes the mine over here. All right, 0% inventory. We knew that was going to happen at some point. I need to get an upgrade. We do have the tech points to do that, but I think we already unlocked. No, we did not. We need to get mining tech. I upgraded the quarries. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do last time, but there we go. So a senior mine is what I'm looking for. To make this work, I need lamp oil. So let's go ahead and research that now. That does, by the way, unlock the ability to go for silver with another tech point. And silver, as we've already discovered, can be turned into some really, really good stuff. For money, but we'll worry about that later. For now, let's get the lamp oil up and running next. A lighting factory is what I'm looking for. Where do I want to place this thing? Oh, I don't know. How about over here kind of works. It's not the most space efficient, but it kind of works for me. It's going to be close to where a lot of animals will hopefully be starting to grow once I discover some more, and then we'll be able to turn that into the lamp oil directly and then send that off to the mines. So to make lamp oil, we could also use beeswax, but I'm going to save that up and use the fat that we've managed to gather so far. I mean, I guess we could use the beeswax. It's not a big deal. At the same lighting factory, you will be able to make lanterns. It takes the lamp oil, and then the glass bottles we'll start manufacturing at some point, and this is necessary for an even higher level of mine and quarry. For now, this should do fine. We can finally upgrade the mine. Okay, just had to stack up a whole load of the oil, some stone and planks first. Once you've got all of them, then you can make the upgrade. Perfect. There are other things that we can do in terms of mining, though. I have space for 2 mines on this little mountain over here on both sides, and also a mountainside quarry, which actually works with better reserves and higher efficiency than a regular quarry down over here. So when this sucker does eventually run out of material, if we don't have enough steel to upgrade it, I'm just going to go ahead and get myself a mountainside quarry, and we'll continue getting stone. Nothing to worry about over there. Very low on labor once again. If I wanted to get steel, what would that take? Under the mining tech, I think. Yeah, smelting. That's what we would need over here. You can take the iron and refined fuel, turn that into steel. And with steel and an advanced smithy, we can make better tools, plus unlock a lot of other construction projects. This is something we need, so we'll go ahead and get that tech. Anything else jump out as really important to this exact second? I think I would like to go for the eco-pasture and maybe also animal slaughter to increase the number of products that we get besides meat and fat from slaughtered animals. That means extra feathers, means extra leathers, eventually. So for now, fodder and eco-pasture should be fine. Something I'd like to do is try messing around with caravans. This is something that was added into the game since the last time I played, so I'm not totally sure how these works yet, but I feel like it's gonna end up being important. So let's try setting up something kind of close to the center of town. Got a couple more tech points to spend. Tempted to go for some trade right now, but something that would be helpful is actually to go ahead and pick up 2 more techs down the weaving tree. I'm not going to make use of silk right now. Whoop, game saving. Okay, there we go. Not going to make use of silk right now, but the wearable tech boosts durability by 50%. That's actually kind of huge. Anyway, all right, we cleared out a lot of space over here. Let's try placing down a trading post. I do want to leave some space eventually for a theater over here. I don't remember how big it is, but I know it's pretty darn big. So let's try placing it down over here. Oh, finally, I've discovered an alpaca. My gosh. It's taken a very, very long time to get those things up and running. All right, let's get an eco-pasture over here. Not a regular pasture, but an eco-pasture. This is just like the farms can get fertilized using the fertilizer over here. The eco-pastures are the ones that are going to use fodder at a fodder factory in order to boost this up. That's important because your animals reach maturity at a much earlier age. So, I really want to get this up and running, get the alpacas going. That is finally going to be another source of clothing materials. That's so good. We've been having a lot of clothing issues for a while here. Oh, and we do have our small trading post ready to go. Okay, so with this, we'll be able to form a caravan and send it to one of the 4 factions I was talking about. If we take a look at it over here, we've got the Meow faction, the Lorenzo faction, the Rania faction, the Carlos faction, and finally, the Antonio faction. These guys, at least the first 4 in particular, you will gain reputation level with. As you do so, you will unlock different types of resources and recipes. For example, with the Meow faction, if we get that reputation up to level 1, we would be able to start planting bamboo at a forest farm. And that bamboo could turn into baskets at a better rate than our regular reeds. We can also make paper directly out of bamboo. There's some tofu, there's some special forest farms, right? A Peking opera theater. right? All this stuff is really cool. Each of these guys have something useful. I'm not sure which one I'm going to say is the most important for me at this stage of the game, but they're all pretty cool. I think if I'm going to go with anyone, maybe it's going to be with Rania to start. We'll trade with them because unlocking things like dates and stuff would be nice. This would be access to a form of sugar, which so far we have been lacking. Another version of a temple over here. Continue down this long enough, we get access to stuff like gem mines or dyeing mills. Start making lots of valuable trade materials. Get down all the way to level 5. Price of all traded goods increases by 25%. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to make it easier for me to continue trading with all the other factions, or at least make it worth my time. The real question then is, who offers the best price for things that I'm actually going to be able to sell? And there's kind of not a lot that I can sell right now, so maybe we do just go with whoever has the best value on things like, I don't know, pottery? And I guess for the pottery, it's going to be the Meow faction. Interesting to note that the Carlos and Lorenzo factions value porcelain at a pretty decent rate. Huh, interesting. Okay, anyway, yep, all right. Meow faction it is. Let's go ahead and form a caravan. I guess we could send, let's say, 6 people. Do I have any tech points? I don't. So we're not going to have any insurance. That is a little bit scary, but okay. Let's try selling some of our trade goods. For now, I'm going to keep the tiers. These are just things you can find while mining and stuff. It's pretty nice. They're worth a lot, so we'll hold on to that just in case. For now, let's try selling off, let's say, 200 pottery and send that to the Meow faction. It says that there's a 3.55% risk of death. It says that? I don't know. All right. We could also try buying items from the Meow faction, but for now, let's leave that as is. I just want to see if I can make some silver. Form the caravan! And off they go. Oh, you brave souls. Got horses and people pushing the carts. Oh, and we apparently have grown, so we get another administrator. Duration of stuff or movement speed? Ooh, those are both actually really, really good. I'm going to make the duration... No, I'm just going to go for movement speed. It's good on everything. All right, good enough. Anyway, so these people are off. Just to go to deliver our goods all the way to the Meow faction. Cool. Whoa! Okay. A giant flood just came through and destroyed all of my crops. All of them! Oh my. Well, that's pretty awful, because I did not get to harvest the vast majority of my food. And now the waters appear to be receding back. That's awful! Wow! Okay. In hindsight, I should have looked up over here and seen the flood symbol and just preemptively harvested my crops even if they weren't at full ripeness, but this is another one of those events that was added since the last time I've played, so I didn't know how impactful it was going to be. Answer is literally the whole map. Yeah, I should have taken that way more seriously. Autumn has arrived, time for harvest. Yeah, about that. Let's go on. Oh gosh, I think they killed off they killed off almost every plant you can gather too. Oh no! Reeds are like the only thing that survived because, well, they grow in water. They don't mind it. Oh no, that's really bad. Oh no, I wish I had paid more attention to all of that. 8 births occurred last season. Now is not the time to have lots of babies. We're probably gonna hit a death spiral in a minute. I mean, we should be able to recover and stabilize, but I definitely suspect that we're gonna run out of food this winter. This is gonna be awful. I mean, you know I'm feeling desperate if I'm going to set up another fishing dock next to this special fishing spot. We're desperate, man. I need just enough fish to kind of keep us afloat. The good news is we have a special yield boost coming up pretty soon. Next year, we're going to get a lot of food. It's just a matter of holding out that long. Caravan has returned to town. I got like 1,600 silver, 1,679. Okay, well, that worked. Cool. We could do that sort of thing again if we wanted to. We could form some different caravans, maybe buy something this time around. Wouldn't be a bad idea. It's another way of getting some goods that we wouldn't have to pay a premium at with the dock. So, for example, the theater requires 15 costumes. So if I wanted to, I could go searching over here and look for some sort of sign of clothing. There it is. And costumes are not on here. Well, darn it, never mind. You can't buy costumes. Wait, yes you can. I stand corrected. It is probably in some other category. Maybe it's under trade goods? I don't know, but if I search for it, I can find it. Costumes. Looks like the Meow faction actually has it for fairly cheap, but it looks like the Antonia faction, so the guys who basically have monopolized the seaways, have even better prices. So it's kind of a question of, do I want to wait for the next trader ship come by and hope that they have costumes, or do I want to just go ahead and buy some? Oh man, look at the size of this broccoli and these tomatoes. They're huge. Yeah, okay. When we said we were getting a 30% booster this year, we weren't kidding. This is going to solve my food problems for a while. There we go. Take it back. It didn't quite solve my problems per se, but it definitely made it a lot better. All right. More merchant docks. Well, hello. You have cattle, huh? You know, it would be a lot cheaper to just buy the cattle this way rather than have to order one. 4,500 is kind of a lot of silver is the only problem. But if I can find something in excess that I can sell right now, it would totally be worth getting that. Maybe some planks, maybe a whole load of animal dung. That could work. We don't really have time to wait for more stuff to get delivered. We're just going to have to offload what I can. 200 pottery, 2,000 dung, 100 extra fishing nets that I'm really not using. Let's do 420 beeswax and 6 bedding sets. That's not quite enough. But we do have silver coins available for a reason, so that's okay. There we go. Perfect transaction. Do it. Okay. We have ourselves a cow. Now I just need to get this pasture set up, which actually looks like it's good. Let's place down cattle, and huzzah! That's going to be huge. A source of leather. Very important for a lot of reasons. Leather can be turned into refined leather and into shoes. And that's something that we have not been providing for our people up to this point, which is why their happiness is kind of terrible. They really want things like shoes. Can't say I blame them, but the only way I know how to make shoes is to go to this knitting workshop and make them out of straw, which we can do as long as we have enough baskets to go around. I have no objection to that. We got 200 and something of them apparently. But yeah, we can make some shoes. It's just, they're terrible. They're not very good. Let's go ahead and upgrade one of our smithies, by the way. We have some steel, which means we can start making some steel tools. That not only improves the efficiency of everybody, but the improved tools should actually boost up health a little bit as well. Unfortunately, I am also reaching a stage of the game where I don't really have any more places to put down housing, unless I want to get rid of some of these farms, which I am gradually kind of pushing them out, but yeah, we're having a hard time keeping on top of all of our food. This stuff will certainly help. It's just not quite enough. We might need to consider setting up another marketplace, let's say down over here, and turning this into the next big urban area. Wouldn't be a bad idea, and then we could also set them nearby and start producing some jade and some gold. And those can be turned into some really nice trade goods. Oh, there's my advanced smithy. Okay, so what does it take to make the better stuff, like these steel tools? There's also traps and such over here too. That's kind of fun. Steel tools take only 2 steel, as opposed to the 3 iron. So in a way, this could become more effective as far as retaining materials like iron. Less effective in terms of amount of labor cost required to make steel. Nonetheless, its durability is so much better. I think it's worth going ahead and making these. Let's go ahead and upgrade the other smithy as well. It's interesting to note that the advanced tailor is not keeping up quite as much anymore. 2 of them. 4 workers on clothing just is not going to cut it. And it's not that we're running out of materials per se either. We've got plenty of linen and feathers. The materials exist. It's just that people can't work fast enough to keep up with what we need. And that's with the wearable buff, by the way. So it kind of goes to show just how fast our population has been growing. We're literally outgrowing our ability to create clothes. I'm going to have a 3rd tailor up and running. I have set up a new mine down over here because I've now unlocked the ability to make silver ore. Takes the longest to extract, but with that silver, instead of wasting our time on silly pottery, let's move on to the silver cutlery. This is worth 90 silver each. That's pretty darn good. Another thing we'll be able to do if we want to is go for minting. This would allow us to actually take that silver and turn it directly into silver coins. I don't have all the other tech that I need to make that work, but it could be a pretty good way of making a lot more money. Something else I know I'm going to need is the forge. This allows you to get building kits, and this is one of the last big items you'll need to get in order to unlock the ability to build almost everything. So, for example, if I want to move on to housing upgrades, this requires bricks, glass, and building kits. Generally produces much better places for people to live, makes their fuel last longer, makes them happier, relieves stress, lets you house more people. All very, very good things. So I need to get these building kits up. That's kind of important. Beyond that, I think I'm just going to continue expanding as normal. I've planned out a lot of buildings over here. And if we can just get our silver under control and start making a lot of money, I think we're going to be in a pretty good position, barring another major flood. I'm going to jump forward a few years and play this in my own time, and I will see you guys for a finale in the next episode and show you just how far we have come. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and again, thank you to the developer for sponsoring this video. There is still a link in the description down below if you'd like to learn more. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.